Hi, Jacob. I wanted to leave you some feedback on your thesis statement and outline. So I think the use of force is a great choice for this assignment. I think that you have some of the good plot points that the reader needs in order to uh, understand the story, right? Which is what we have to do when we summarize. What I don't see yet is a thesis statement. So everything that you have here is just kind of like this is what happens in the story, but you have not. But you have not. Yeah, you have not yet included your thesis statement. So remember when we summarize, we introduce the author in the text, which you've done here. We introduce the plot points, which you've done. We state the author's argument. I don't see that yet, or the author's main point. I don't see that yet. And then finally, you end with your thesis statement. So you need to make a clear claim, a clear stance on the essay, and then present that with a reason. So you know, remember in class, in terms of thesis statements, we've been talking about claims because reasons. That's the big thing that you're missing. And you have to have a thesis statement, an argumentative thesis statement, to have a good argumentative paper. So that's the biggest thing that you're missing here. You have 3 points listed down here at the bottom, but without the thesis statement, right? It just kind of again feels like you're summarizing. So, really, with key ideas, the reader needs to understand how those key ideas are supporting the thesis. And of course, if there's no thesis, the reader can't determine that. So I think this needs another round of revision, like I said, because there is no thesis statement. In terms of the writing and what you have here, there are a couple things I want to talk to you about. There is no need to say the essay I will be discussing is if you set up the summary appropriately. So you've done that where you have the title and the author. So if you use that kind of standard summary format, such as in the essay, The Use of Force by William Carlos Williams, the author discusses and take off from there. It's really redundant and unnecessary to state this if you use the signal phrase in the summary, right? The writer, or excuse me, the reader intuitively knows that. So if you start taking out that language from your papers, it's going to elevate your writing and make you sound more like a professional. You say here too that the story is about overcoming obstacles. I am a little. I'm not going to disagree with you there, but I really don't think that is what Williams intends. Really, the biggest clue to what the story is about is the title. So I'm not really sure if overcoming obstacles is the way that you want to phrase that. Really, what Williams is asking us to consider is the use of force. When is it justified, if ever? I can kind of see how there are obstacles in the story, but overcoming obstacles, that phrase suggests things like resiliency. It suggests, like, oh, I don't know, like inspirational stories. And I wouldn't consider this an inspirational story, right? Instead, this is trying to get the audience to consider the use of force, right? But really, what it's trying to do is get the audience to consider what kind of standards should professionals hold themselves to? Meaning, should professionals be held to a higher standard? And and I think Williams gives us clues as to what he believes we should think in that case. It's perfectly acceptable to argue against him, but I think you first need to capture what it is he's saying. So the main thing that you're missing here, like I said, is a clear thesis. You have like some general summary points here where the key ideas are, but I wouldn't consider them key ideas yet. What you need to figure out is what stance you're going to take on this essay. But you still got time to do that. So if you have questions, reach out to me, and I'd be happy to talk about thesis statements with you in more depth. All right, thanks.